One of those concerns that we heard loud and clear coming out of this year's CES, and I would argue most of the CES shows I've seen, is what's described as the no new product syndrome, that there is no, there is not another version of the flat panel TV coming at us, or the CD player, the DVD player. What the question at almost any CES show is, where is that? And most of the time you don't have an answer. And when you do have an answer, like the DVD player, it's not going to sell very many units in its early years. So one of the concerns that people raise about this industry is there anything really new? Well, the lens I had when I looked at the CES show was, wow, the construct of connecting our screens, of what's been there as an abstract promise of taking our lifestyle and being able to have it seamlessly go between, the home, the workplace, wherever we go for entertainment, that these things all can be connected and they can be individualized, and the power of that can be added to our lives tangibly, because the software is starting to make that work, and the hardwares and the products that are produced engineered to it, and we're starting to understand enough about people's lifestyle. That was the real promise that was just swimming in that CES show. And many people looked at it and said there was nothing new. I looked at it and I thought, wow, that's spectacularly new. One of the other concerns that has existed, that you heard for many years, and that I think has more truth than that first one, is that Best Buy long-term does not have a very vibrant future because the products it sells are going to commoditize. And that as a specialty store, it won't have much value to add in a world in which the products commoditize. My counterargument that I've been sharing sort of at this stage at the end of my career is that I've been hearing that for more than 30 years, that it's true. They are always commoditizing. The product is always getting cheaper. We always have to sell more of it every year, or almost always have to sell more of it every year than we did the year before. But actually, Best Buy is the company it is because of commoditization. Concept 2 was completely designed to deal with the commoditization of the products. And the benefit of the commoditization is more people can get involved with the industry. And we have a point of view about how attractive that is for the customers and how many places we can help them go that other people can't. So I just don't think that's a negative. I think it's an enormous positive, and I think it points to a horizon that is more optimistic than I think some people look at. I don't think Walmart is going to sell everything that's sold. Another concern that is often expressed is, well, retail stores are no longer going to be necessary. This organization's strength has always been its people and the way its people create and adapt. And now we use things like the internet and stores and call centers and distribution and delivery capability and all these and service skills. We use all these skills we built, but the skills were built in response to what our customer was asking. We can shrink or grow those based on what's appropriate to serve the customer. The real core of what you at Best Buy is the talent of its people. And that, I think, is the compelling edge, and I don't see that as dissipating. And right now, the stores work really well for us. They may not work for us in the future. I think they probably will, but they may not work as well in the future. But that's not Best Buy. And that is not what we have to offer. And just look at the rate of adaptation over the last number of years in terms of how many businesses we're in we weren't in at all a few years ago, and how many places in the world we are that we weren't a few years ago. The four concerns you typically hear is, retailers are never successful when they leave their home country. And there's a lot of truth to that, historically. And especially American retailers are not successful when they leave their home country. Because what happens with American retailers is that they take what they are successful in the U.S. and they go to some place that doesn't look at all like the U.S. and where the customer's experience isn't at all like the U.S. and plot that down, and it doesn't work. Well, I think that's been largely true, and that deserves to be true. But I don't think that's what we're doing. And I think you see it in evidence like Carphone Warehouse, where we're discovering together with Carphone Warehouse what's going to transpire with Europe. And we've taken their skill sets into the United States and totally reinvented what we're able to do in a segment of our business in the United States. Or let's take what happened in China, where I can tell you our margins, one of the reasons that the stock has done better recently is our margins are higher than people expected. One of the reasons for that is we are able to source our own goods. We're our own manufacturer. That's a contribution made out of the folks in China. The ability to sort of embrace the world and learn from the world and share skills across these ecosystems. That is the core of Best Buy's hypothesis. I think that's a good hypothesis. I think it's a pretty safe hypothesis, and I think we already have a lot of evidence that that works. So I don't think the experience that shareholders are worried about is going to be the experience at Best Buy in that space either. So when I look at all four of those issues, I actually have a sort of perverse logic where I said, I think if you really take a hard look at those things, they all should tell you that this company has a hell of a future.